Like, I feel like you took what I want it to be and, like, put it into a way where I, like, believed that I could do it. Where, like, if someone told me all of this stuff that I was right now and that I was like that, 2 months later, I would have said, "You're a liar." And I would be there's actually no way
Yeah.
because I was such a mess. Like, I actually didn't think that was possible for me to be in such a better place. Like, I would have looked at them and went, "You're a liar."
Yeah.
I like I was in such a bad place. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot better overall. Like, even with school, with like my friends, with like my overall just mindset is better, which is good, and especially something that I didn't think I'd be able to do. So
Yeah. No, that's really good. But you have to take a lot of credit because you're the one who's taking initiative, you're doing the work. So this is why it's important that you understand that it's like a partnership. Uh,
mhm.
so my job is to kind of give you new ways of thinking and giving you the strategies. Your job is to sort of kind of do the thing that you're supposed to do, which you are. And
Yeah.
that's what our agreement was from the beginning. So you're totally living up to your end of the bargain. So
Mhm.
so congratulations.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
Well, your numbers show that you've gone up.
Yeah, I feel like my like overall, just like I feel a lot better about like what I want to do. I looked a lot at universities over the summer. I went to visit my sister and her friends a couple times, so I like kind of have like a sense of like the different vibes from each university, and so like I feel a lot better of a place for this year, which is good because last year I was very lost. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no clue. I was like so scared. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Like I'm going to be a failure. And now I'm like, I feel a lot better. I'm like, I feel like I know what I wanna do. I feel like I have more of a foot down, and I figured out what works for me and, like, what doesn't. People don't tell you that the people you surround yourself with are like, they don't make it seem like your friends have this big input on, like, your school, but they really do. Like, if your friends are in a bad mental place and they're, like, putting you in a bad mental place, you're gonna be dragged down every time, and I never realized that until this year, which is kinda sad that it took me 4 years of high school to realize who are my real friends, but
Sometimes people never even figure it out.
feel like
So
I learned a lot about, like, not letting people walk all over me, and, like, I
yeah.
feel like I've really stood my ground with, like, what I feel is right, and so I feel like I've learned a lot, like, over like, honestly, just, like, thinking about more about, like, who I am rather than, like, just, like, a whole bunch of things. Because this summer, like, the summer school was super easy. I got an 87 in that easily. It built my confidence a lot because leaving grade 11 functions, I was very like, "I can't do math." Like, if I can't do math, I can't do science. Well, what can I do? And then I did the course in the summer, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I just learned it a different way." And I studied it differently, and I went over it, and I made sure I knew it because it was all I was working on. I was working on that and my job, and so realistically, it was that, and I just, like, worked hard at it, and I guess I just, like, kinda realized that, like, once I work hard for it, then I can learn it, and so now it's making doing actual grade 12 functions a lot easier.
The term work hard, it seems obvious, but it's actually not.
Yeah,
Because if when somebody says work hard, you could work hard at maybe like doing every single question in the textbook. Okay. And
literally, you're just wasting time doing things that you already know.
or how do you know those questions you're doing are going to be similar to what's going to be on the test?
You don't.
Right. So
So
this
that's why
whole
analyze and look at it from a different way and realize, like, kinda, like look at a lot back on, like, what you were saying with the, like, know and, like, listen for, like, key and points, and, like, because your teachers, they tell you what's gonna be on the test, and when you listen and you really, like, understand what is gonna be on what, like, it makes it a lot easier. Like, my math teacher right now, she does that. She talks, and if you listen, she tells you exactly what's on the test. And so we had our first quiz. I missed the quiz because I was at sick kid, so everyone else got their test back already. The class did fairly well on it, and so I'm pretty confident because I feel like I did well too. But she like fully just like told everyone what questions were going to be on it, and all you had to do was listen.
yeah. And how many students listen?
Not a lot. I was sitting next to a kid and he was like, "I did not know that was gonna be on the test." And I was like, "She told us it was gonna be on the test last week."
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, "No, she didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, she did. You don't take notes though."
Yeah,
He
yeah.
sits there and he just stares, and I'm like, "Well, you're not taking notes, so what'd you
Yeah,
expect?"
yeah. So you're seeing how everything kind of links with each other, right?
Yeah,
The preview, the filtering, the review, and the studying
yeah.
and externalization. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I
Strong.
feel like I'm in, like, a lot better of a place. Like, I didn't think one summer could change, like, a place that, like, you were in, but realistically, like, being off of school and just, like, having time for me to figure myself out, like, it helped a lot. Like, I was still doing work, I was still busy, but, like, I really had time to figure out what I wanted to do and, like, where my mind was at, where, like
Yeah, so you had a huge shift in your thinking.
mhm, and I didn't think Honestly, like, when I started this, my mom, she's like, "I feel like I could really help you, like, if you" because 'cause I'm not the type of person to just, like, not listen to what people say. I obviously, I listen, I try it out, and then I see if it works for me, and I was very, like, I wasn't very optimistic about it. I was like, "Yeah, it could work, but, like, I'll try it, but, like, I don't know how much it will really work, like, how much can my mindset really affect what I'm doing?" When I realized, like, your work's 90% mindset. Like, what I'm doing, like, the way I think about things, like, I've learned how I remember things on tests. I learned that I like when I look at things like pictures and I remember them better. I've learned that the places I surround myself and, like, where I study helps, like, who I study with, the friends that I surround myself with, like, my friends who are like, "Oh, like, you don't need to go into lunch help today, just come out to lunch with us." Like, those kind of friends that you don't need them. Like, you can go a day without going to lunch and, like, help yourself out a bit, and when they realize that, like, you have friends that actually do wanna see you succeed and friends that do wanna go to university and friends that don't only care about going out, and sometimes you just sit at home and do nothing with a friend, and it's just being around someone, like, it changes the way that you think a lot, and I feel like it just, like my head feels so much better, and it's not even like school's barely started, like, I haven't seen the reflection on my grades yet, but I already feel so much more confident. My stress levels have, like, decreased so much. Like, it's actually insane how much they've decreased. Even school starting up again, and I'm rarely having panic attacks again. Where last year I was having panic attacks daily, sometimes more than once, and
I
now
would like to say it's because you're you're kind of um, taking the initiative and you're not kind of being passive with it,
Mhm,
right? Like you're like, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm going to do it. Like that right there is why I said, okay, yes, I'll coach you, right?
mhm.
Because there's no point if I say, okay, I'm going to coach you, and then you don't do anything with it.
Yeah, there's
So,
no
right. So it's good. And that's what I want you to keep remembering this, what I just said,
mhm.
because if you don't take ownership of what you want, no one really can help you, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, right? So you have to understand that you did well because you took ownership of it.
A lot of it honestly, a lot of it was, like, you telling me to, like, write down things a lot, like, the what's good about this, what's bad about this. Over the summer, there wasn't a lot of school things that's, like, that I can go, "Oh, what's good about a bad mark that I got?" There wasn't a lot of things that I could relate that to because I wasn't in school, and so I started relating it to other things in my life, and so if something happened with, like, a friend or if, like, um, something, like, happened with, like, my family or even, like, work related, like, if, like, a parent was being, like, annoying and they were, like, up my ass about, like, a kid, and I was like, okay, what's good about this? And so I could look at it from like different ways other than just school. And so I feel like I took like a lot of the things that you tend to implement into school. I feel like I just implemented that into like my whole life. And so I feel like it overall, rather than just like, I want to change my school mindset, I changed like my mindset overall. And I feel like I'm overall like a lot happier.
Yeah. And that mindset, remember, you take that mindset everywhere,
Hmm.
right? So you fix it and you improve it, and then you got to go everywhere with it. So what's the
Yeah.
natural result? You
It's going
just
to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
you succeed. And although I talk about students doing better in school, that is one feature of it. But
Yeah.
I never talk about the other feature, which is
Yeah.
your life also improves, right? So that's good that you're seeing that.
'Cause I feel like a lot of people take the school part of it and they go, "Oh, my school grades are bad, my whole life is bad." Like, it's very easy to think, "Oh, school's not going good, my whole life's gonna fail." 'Cause
Mm,
that's how I was thinking.
mm,
In May, June, that's how I thought. I was like, "I'm bad at school, I'm gonna die." That's fully how I thought. I was like, "I'm gonna be on the streets, like, I'm not gonna get a university degree, I'm not gonna get in anywhere." And then you look at things and there's always something you can do. Like, I'm not like it's not like I'm having a failing grades where I'm failing 24/7. Like, it's not like I don't try. It's not like and all you have to do is you put the effort in the right places and it makes you go a lot further, which is something that I've never like thought of it like that, but just like changing my mindset. Like I didn't think it could make such an impact and then it did. And it feels a lot better. Like I feel a lot better about school. Mind you, right now I have 100% average and it's just completion marks. But like even that, like there's like work where I was like, "Oh, I don't need to do that. I can do that later." And I would put it off until like until I actually see the 0. And now I'm like, "Huh, I never see the 0. I just see the 100%." And so
mm.
even just looking at a completion mark of 100%, it makes you feel a lot better overall,
Yeah.
which is something I never really thought about.
Yeah. And by the way, I had those same thoughts, but I had those thoughts in the workforce. When I'm working at this company, I was having panic attacks because I made one mistake at work.
Mhm,
One mistake, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna fire me. I'm gonna be homeless. I'll never get a job. People don't want to like I had the same thing and I was having panic attacks as well.
mhm.
That's when I mean it sucks, but that's when I realized, oh my God, I don't have an intelligence issue. I don't have a hardworking issue. I have a thinking issue.
mindset issue, yeah, the way I thought for, like, the whole summer, and now I feel so much better going into school, which is something, like, I genuinely never thought I would come back from grade 11, end of grade 10. I was doing so bad, and then, like, I never thought I'd be able to come back from that, and now I'm in a better mindset, and hopefully my grades will show that.
Yeah, and one thing I want to emphasize is that um, the grades are a byproduct.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want you to start thinking, and this is where a lot of kids mess it up because they think that they're in school because they need to get good grades. So what they do
Mhm.
is they do everything to get those grades. So
Yeah.
what does that mean? That means
It
that
burns them out.
that
They
means
get
they
tired.
burn, yeah, they burn out. Some of them, I hate to say it, some of them even cheat. Okay, because for
Mhm.
them it's all about the grades. So that's in my mind the traditional approach of thinking about how to do well in school. Okay, grades mean everything. That's in my opinion not the right way, but that's what students are taught.
Mhm.
My opinion is, look, if you're going to go to school, start using school as an opportunity to think better about yourself, to develop the right habits, improve who you are as a person, learn how to improve your skills, your productivity, learn all that stuff and focus on that. And when you get really good at it, all of a sudden the grades will start coming at you.
Mhm.
Right? And that's just how successful people live in general.